Today we are building the Planet Hollywood Resort in Minecraft. Last episode we finally finished the Cosmopolitan, probably my craziest and most detailed build yet, and now we're doing it all over again just across the street with the only goal of making it even better. So without further ado, it's time for a time lapse. Alright, so let's get into it. Of course, we're starting with a little bit of a layout. Right here we're just laying out the shape of the front facade of the building. And it's this kind of weird texture of, in real life it's green spheres on a grayish background. But at night it all gets lit up from behind. So I played around with it a bit off screen and decided to go with these sea lanterns covered in a layer of cyan stained glass panes. And then these green blocks as the spheres. And I think it really captures the real life look pretty well. And then we start with the main building, the big hotel tower. And for this I always challenge myself to truly get the exact same number of windows and details as the real thing. But of course we're left to the mercy of the block sizes in Minecraft. But that actually makes it really satisfying if things actually do line up. So here I knew exactly how wide this wing had to be. And I knew exactly how many of these pairs of windows had to fit. And when it then turns out to fit perfectly, that's just really satisfying. So I guess we were lucky here. And then we're starting to near the top of the building. And for this the same thing goes. I know the height that each part has to be. And I know the number of floors. And once again, making 3-meter floors turned out to fit perfectly. So of course sometimes I kind of have to smuggle away a floor or add one, as you can't really build like 3.2 meter floors. But once again we were lucky in this one. And then of course we mirror the building and we start building the ladders, which took a few tries to get it just right. First trying quartz and glowstone and messing around with the shape a bit. But in the end red sandstone turned out to be the best fit and we got these beautiful ladders. So that kind of finishes the front of the tower, and then in the back we just add this logo. And we move back to the ground level. A set of escalators right here because God forbid someone actually has to climb some stairs in Las Vegas. Of course there are still stairs around it, as well as this more gradual ramp here on the right. And then we build some storefronts, the Sephora right next to the casino entrance with its recognizable black and white stripes. And the big M being the logo of the Miracle Mile shops. That's what they call the massive shopping center that wraps all around the resort. This big wall on the side with its weird patterns, and then the Cabo Wabo restaurant with its terrace out front. And we'll be building the interior in just a bit. And we're going all over the place because now we're building the big marquee sign. And I just love the way these logos turned out. It's always fun building these intricate letters and then having them turn out to be actually readable. The second entrance to the casino here on the other side, I kind of like the design of that. And then another elevated walkway to cross the street, with of course the escalators that go with it. Las Vegas just kinda seems to hate building pedestrian crossings on the street level. And I mean, with the amount of people walking across the strip, I guess these bridges are quite convenient. And of course, most of the time they lead people straight into the casinos on each side of the road, so probably the casinos are quite happy to build them wherever they can. Then we clean up the roof here a little bit, and I'm building these little buildings on top in smooth quartz since they looked kind of white on Google Earth. But they actually end up changing it to smooth sandstone later on, as Google Earth can be a bit deceiving sometimes, especially with color. Because for the main building I actually had the same debate as well. It looked quite white on Google Earth, but if you look at pictures it's definitely more towards the sandstone color. And in the meantime you see me adding a little bit of a pattern to the paths out front. And here you actually see me changing the quartz to the sandstone. And then here's a part I really loved building. It's these massive billboards covering a huge chunk of the tower. And like I said before, I love playing around with this kind of lettering, trying to make it readable on as small a scale as possible. So if you can read what it says on these billboards, do let me know in the comments, then I know it wasn't all for nothing. But yeah, this was really fun to do. And then we moved to the casino floor, because I decided many years ago when I started this project that I should do all the casino interiors as well. So now I'm paying for that, because it makes everything 10 times more work. But I think the payoff is worth it, having a building you can truly explore instead of it just being a shell of a building. And then this clothing shop here in the corner, I'm not really sure what store it is anymore, I'd have to look it up. But it's quite tall, a lot of stairs over different floors. And then we move to the Cabo Wabo restaurant, or at least the interior of it. And it's this very colorful place, a stage at the back, some interesting pillars here with the glazed terracotta. And the second floor as well, with a little bit of a darker color scheme up here, but the same lights in the ceiling. And of course the Sephora, a lot of black and white, makeup everywhere, kinda self-explanatory. And then we move all the way to the back of the resort to start building this massive roundabout that you enter from the side of the resort, and it leads to all the parking structures all around the area, as well as leads to the entrance of the lobby, which is right below the casino. I always kind of like building roads like this, especially when they're circular like this one. Of course, it's very easy to lay out the circles with World Edit. But then connecting them all, having them twist through each other, it's always very satisfying to build. And then we finally built the actual casino floor, all the pathways here and the crazy carpets, which are quite typical for all the casinos in Vegas. So right now we're mostly building the edges of the casino with these big lit up walls and these massive lit up pillars as well, with the horizontal stripes going through them. And we're just kind of closing off this casino space, creating this big hall. In a future episode we'll be furnituring everything inside. It's a little bit too much work for now. I really want to be able to do that well, so I'll have to take my time for that. Some escalators here as well. And then we just finish up a little bit at the tops of these walls here as kind of the transition into the ceiling, which we'll be building in the next episode. And here we do actually put one in at the front of the casino already. And that basically wraps up this build, so thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please do consider liking and subscribing, as it really helps out the channel a lot. So I'll see you guys in the next one, and for now, I'll leave you guys with some cinematics.